really wish I remember the initial headspace I was in when I wrote this prompt. Is an artist's time more valuable than yours? And the reason it's worded that way is because it's like, I'm an artist, so I'm just like, I don't want to say, is my time worth more than yours? But I identify as an artist, so yeah. Anyway. Definitely not a functional sentence, and a little mix in perspectives within the structure of that. But I guess when I wrote it, I think that my answer was yes. And that prompt is only like 3 to 4 weeks old, I think. Maybe a little more. Sometime in the past 2 months, but not that recent. And it was just like, I guess I could just look. I texted it to myself. Anyway, yeah, is an artist's time more valuable than yours? And I think that, the obvious answer is no. But then again, yours, the way that's worded, it's structured as if to say, if you are not an artist, you belong in the category of your. Right? Is an artist's time more valuable than anyone else's, is basically what that says. And what kind of started the prompt was that, I've been seeing this around a little more. I mean, I follow a lot of art accounts because I enjoy looking at art. And again, if I wasn't a creator of art, I would still be following all these art accounts because I'm just a fan first, and I just love visual art and music and film and all these other things. And I've been seeing on Instagram, just like on people's stories, a lot in posts, this notion of creatives needing time to rest. And I completely understand that. But then, of course, the question is, well, doesn't everyone need time to rest? And yes, but then it also becomes this thing of different people have different needs, and different people operate in different ways. And I think that as a creative, I find that I need time to process. I need time to think. I need time to read. I need time to thinking for me happens automatically, but that's the thing. I think while I work, and the process, again, there's external processing that happens, right? Doing this is part of it. But it's even being out in the world, running errands sometimes, or I just want to go look at a bookstore or whatever, but having downtime, as in not doing a different kind of work that is more demanding and mentally, emotionally draining, and also time consuming, that kind of work takes away from the rest, or the not even rest, it's just time. Never edit out sneezes, ever. It takes out the time that a creative person or an artist would need in order to process life so that they can have an output. And I think that, if you are not having a creative output in that way, you don't need that time the same way. Yes, time to rest, everyone needs time to rest. But I think that, there's a lot of people that, and again, feel free to disagree. I would love to just hear, because for me, there's so much even with science and math and whatever else, their process can be different. And it's not about just grinding 100% nonstop, but if they are consumed, I'm thinking of so many things at once. I think that if they are really 100% consumed by their work, of course you need time to go take a walk and take a break, and then maybe you'll have your eureka moment, try to figure out a problem or resolve a theorem or something. But your work is what you're involved in. And I think for a lot of people, when these posts were creatives need this or artists need this, one, a lot of them, like myself, are not full-time artists. If I was a full-time artist and I could survive in that way, fiscally, then I wouldn't need to talk about how I really need time. I need this space. I need time to be able to just sit. I need time to listen to music and just feel, and to do things like this that help me externally process. I need to have time for coffee and conversations, and not just in a way of hanging out with friends or entertainment or relaxation in that aspect. More of that is one way I externally process. I need to talk about art. I need to, experience art, and I need to experience life, and then process that in different ways so that I can express it. And Other people don't need to do that because they're like, hey, I'm just going to go do some math right now, or I'm going to go work construction right now, and I have a very, like, there's no extra time needed to figure out your instructions. Like, I don't know, I used to clean commercial buildings when I was in university, and I loved that job because, well, I loved it when the buildings were, when I cleaned after hours. There's some buildings, there was one building that I was covering for someone that was open 24/7. I didn't like that so much. It was like an ambulance, like first responder type thing, and it was like, hey, and I ended up cleaning in the middle of the day because they needed it cleaned multiple times in a day. Whereas other buildings, it's like I've got the whole building to myself. I can go in anytime after 5 p.m. before 8 a.m. So there's a lot of freedom with that, and I could just listen to music and do my job. I didn't need time. If that, well, I mean, it wasn't my full-time job. I had 2 part-time jobs, and I was in university. I didn't need time to process anything for that job. I just did my work, and I made money, and that was it. And I could pay my rent. And but as an artist and a creative person, I needed time to do. I mean, just like I need now. I need time to write. I need time to think. Whatever. I'm going to keep repeating myself. But I just think that, again, there's certain occupations, certain people's jobs, certain people, period, that don't need that time the same way. And part of it is just, like, on a personal level, from artist to artist even, like, a threshold of what you can handle. Are you more extroverted, introverted, that kind of thing. Being with new people drains me. Like, meeting someone new one-on-one for a conversation or something, that can be invigorating. It's a little, like, I'm a little nervous. But if I have to go and network and meet a lot of people at once, I don't do well. It makes me anxious. It's very draining for me socially. Not socially. That social event is draining for me, period. Whereas not every social event is upsetting to me or draining, because if I get to choose who I'm spending that time with, it's great. Like, I love spending time with friends and people that I trust, people that I know. And sometimes, again, in very strict parameters, getting to know someone new can be energizing as well. But that's just me, as you know. And then the next artist over might, not be drained by those activities. But I would say that an artist, like a true artist, still needs time. I mean, if they're playing with concepts and emotions, which would be different, I think, than a crafter or a designer or a technician, which I've talked about the differences between all those things before, and I very happy to talk about that again, but just not here at this time. But if you're dealing with emotions and concepts, I think you do need time to process those. And if you're working a full-time job that doesn't give you time to process those things and is just very draining for you, you need to find that time elsewhere. And if you need the time to process, that's not creative time either. That's not physical output time. Like, I make paintings, and I don't like saying I'm a painter because I do more than just use paint. But as an artist who creates physical work, or even if it was digital work, it doesn't matter. Like, there's an output that happens. I need time to do that. Or even if it was writing, I need time to actually do the thing, physically do the thing. But I also need time to process that before I can get there. And again, if you're working 40 hours a week, and who knows if you have a family or a partner, or, obviously you want to see friends, and there's like a work-life balance. But if you're an artist and your art is not your job, man, then that gets rough. And that's where I've been for a long time. Art is not my job. I can't maintain, not even come close. I lose money on art every, you know what I mean? Like, on the studio space. Like, every once in a while I'll get a sale, and I'm like, wow, that sale covered my rent for a month here. Amazing. But as I mentioned before too, this for me, it is about mental health. It is about peace, calm, contribution, legacy, connection. It is just something that I have grown to need so much that it has to be worth it, right? Like, but in order to maintain the practice too, like, yes, I want to sell work, and that's a way of connecting with people, and that's a way of leaving legacy, and all those other things that I've talked about before. But going back to the question, is my time more valuable than yours? Yours being a non-artist? No, because we need doctors, we need whatever, people that have essential skills, right? And I don't want to take this way off the deep end to be like, are some people more valuable than others? Because it's just like playing that game gets really tricky. I mean, some people don't contribute to society at all. Some people take away from society, right? And they drain people or drain the system or whatever. And I mean like the extreme ends of like serial killers or something like that. You know what I mean? Like and everything in between. And you know, I enjoy being a person that contributes in some way, not just with art or whatever. But I think that yes, the world I think needs artists, just like we need a lot of thousands of other, you know, different types of people that have different types of output that contribute to different types of culture and society. So I would no, I mean, it's not that my time is more valuable or an artist's time, period. Maybe not me, a different artist, that my time is more valuable than everyone who is not an artist. No. But I do believe that artists versus some other types of folks need downtime. I can't produce anything if I don't have time to process life. If I don't have time to and again, sometimes my processing of emotions happens while I'm creating. Absolutely it does. A lot of the time it does, but I still need to experience life to process too, right? Like if all I did was go to work, I've got work life that I guess I can play off of, and then it's like, yeah, I just go to work, and then I go to the studio, and I just need to paint when I'm there, and that's all, and I can't have any time to sit down, any time to like listen to music, or to read a book, or to, you know, just do nothing for a bit, or whatever, like, and it gets tough, because I feel like I need so much, that it's like, man, if art was just my job, imagine, like, the freedom in that would be amazing. It's like, I need to mountain bike, like, or I need physical exercise, I need to go for a hike, I need those things for my physical health, and for my mental and emotional health. I need those things a lot. And like part of it is time, that it's like I also have to work. I also need, you know, time to actually do art. I need to run errands, I need to do laundry, like I have all these needs. I have a partner that I want to spend time with, right? Like I need a lot of things. I need to keep up with family and friends and have conversations, and I have many needs. But when 40 hours a week is taken up by one of them that may not really contribute that much positivity to my life. Like that's just a case for anyone. How do you find and maintain happiness and quality of life that way? And if you happen to be in a field, maybe not occupation wise, but just interest wise or hobby wise or whatever, that demands from you that you actually need downtime on top of that. Like imagine if you were building you've train sets were your hobby, just like, and you spent as much time as that as you would as an artist, but you have this job that it doesn't contribute to you in a positive light other than paying you so that you can maintain a household and have food, you know, shelter and clothing and those basic needs. I mean, you can go and build your train set. You can just roll into your space, go down to your basement, build a train set, whatever. I don't really think that hobby or whatever needs that extra time the way that I, as an artist, need it, the type of artist that I am, the way that I operate as an artist, that I need that time to process things, that I need time to experience not just life and going through errands and work and whatever, and relationships, but experience, make time to experience culture and art in various forms, expose myself to other artists, you know, and have more to play off of. So again, to me, it's not so much about this question of am I more, as an artist, is an artist more valuable than X? It's really hard to do that. I think that people are just straight up sometimes more valuable than other people. And again, that gets really dicey really quick. But then, I mean, it depends on where you hang your hat on the spectrum of that. Is it like, yeah, I think I'm more valuable than a serial killer who causes nothing but pain and destruction? Yes, I would say I am more valuable. And if one of us has to die, I would make a very strong case that it shouldn't be me. Not just be like, hey, like, you know, like, everyone's equal. And we all, if you have a life, then you have, you know, whatever. That's a whole different conversation. I don't want to do yeah, it's not a case of an artist being more valuable than X. than whatever fill in the blank is there necessarily. Because again, you could fill that in with lawyer, doctor, whatever, scientists, and different practitioners of different occupations and stuff. And I think that would be inequality, or maybe say, no, we need essential services more than we need art, but then it's whatever. It becomes that whole thing of that color of life, of that, of what art gives people, not just the artist that creates art, but what it gives back to the populace as a whole. Anyway, I feel like I understand myself better and my needs, but it's also hard to defend those needs sometimes. Of like, no, you don't understand. Like, I'm not doing nothing. Like, doing nothing might be what needs to happen. I don't know. It's like saying meditating is doing nothing. No, it is doing something for your mental, emotional health, so that you can continue to process the day and have a life that's, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, if some people would meditate, and if they didn't, someone might put them on medication, you know what I mean? And that would be the thing that assists you. But for some people, meditation can just do that, so they don't need to go on medication, or meditation is medication. Anyway, I think that is a thing that is not necessarily 100% unique to artists, but overall, when I think of it, I think it is unique to creatives in general. Again, an artist, someone who deals with emotions and themes and concepts, not just craft and design, or being a technician, which would be like, if my sole job was painting portraits of people's animals, I don't have any input. People's like, here's a picture of my dog, paint it. I'm like, okay, sweet, okay, here you go. That's a technician, right? If that's the only thing you do. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I don't even know why I'm saying. I don't know. I just wanted to explore that topic again. When it first hit me, I think I felt a little differently, and then thinking about it this morning a bit, I was just like, well, no, of course I can't say that. But I do believe, again, in just kind of like that downtime. Maybe that's where we end up. The downtime of an artist can be more valuable than the downtime of someone else, because someone else doesn't need that downtime in order to process these other things. Because sometimes I think just relaxing. Like, yes, everyone needs to relax, but relaxing for one person can just be that. It's like, yeah, of course, everyone needs to go to sleep, right? Everyone needs to be able to relax, and then that helps them get through the next day or whatever. But the next day might be something that takes not the same mental exercise in different compartments of your brain than someone who might be creating art, or creating art, again, very broad: music, dance, theater, writing, cinema, whatever. That relaxation is twofold. It's like, oh man, I'm tired, I just need some time to decompress a little bit. But that decompression and that relaxed state, again, also serves the purpose of sorting out these concepts and themes that other people aren't dealing with, right? And so I think that time of relaxation is not the same as creating. Creating can still add a lot to my life, but it's not the same. Like, the act of creation is not the same as being able to have downtime to process things. So yeah, it's twofold. It's relaxation and downtime on a human level of like, your physical body needs to function in a certain way and you need to give it rest, versus like what processing can happen in that downtime that adds very very blatantly adds to the construction of things through your artistic process. That is part of the artistic process, and it is part of just like being a human. There. I did it.